morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the daily routine in the harmony with nature. So, how can you organize or plan a day when you start at the morning, when you wake up at the morning till your sleep in the night? What are the activities we have to plan? We have discussed and we have to follow a circadian rhythm. We will continue this. The average life of your cell. So, this is little bit a biological thing. So, we have to maintain the circadian rhythm and related to the years how we have to follow. So understanding the body form from body is actually from a single cell to a huge harmony of trillions of cells working together. So a healthy body is naturally a harmony in itself, and it is harmony with natural environment. It is a self that has to decide how to stay in harmony or otherwise by way of lifestyle or in routine. Basic disciplines governing the health of the body is the principle of accumulation. The body is an accumulation of an intake. Understanding this helps in deciding the intake. So the body type is the principal availability of the information from the body. The self only has to be aware of that and read it and act. So physical body is actually an organ, tissue like thing, but the self is actually we have to aware of that. We have to read it and we have to act according to that. The principles related to the influence of the state of the cell on the health of the body. Understanding that will bring the holistic human health. So health of the self plus health of the body and health of the environment totally form a holistic human health. So the environment is equal to family, society, nature and existence. As already we have told that we are having 4 levels. So self and the body of a health related to that. Remaining 3 parts are family, society and the nature. So these are actually the indicators of the health of the body. So the indicators that are add a flexibility of the body, ensure adequate movement of the body and production of the physical activity. So sweeping, swapping your rooms. So these are examples for labor. Labor or we have to work, we have to exercise so that we have to make our body active. Always we should be very, very active and we should not sit ideally. So kitchen, gardening, cycling to your home. These are some of the examples we will have. And the postures for regulating internal and the external organs are example yoga, pranayama for breathing. Medicine, for medicine you bring back to the harmony of the temporary disharmony or home remedies, integrated systems of the medicine. The treatment are using a drug or the medicine to perform a body function. Examples are insulin, dialysis, ventilator. These are we are looking for treatment. So the priority what we have to give is first priority is we have to give for proper intake and routine. Then followed by the labor and the exercise. The postures for regulating the internal and external body organs are called unregulated breathing for bringing body back to harmony from temporary disharmony. So this diagram already we have seen. So second one is bringing back harmony because of temporary illness. We are taking the medicine and we are coming. And we are depending on the drug or the machine to perform a body function for the treatment. So the intake includes air, water, sunlight, food, and these are actually the activities already we have studied. So to sum up, self and the body are in harmony when there is a feeling of a self-regulation in the self and the health of the body. Self-regulation is equal to feeling of responsibility towards the body. So we have to be responsible towards the body. We should be very, very selfish towards taking care of ourselves. First, we have to take care of the body by nurturing, protecting, and right utilization of the body. Health is actually body acts according to the self and the parts of the body are in the harmony. So for a program, what is important is for staying healthy, the intake and the routine, labor and the exercises, they are very, very important. And practice sessions for these are in the last 3 years. Suppose what is actually the practice session we can have is recall the times that the body has been ill. So we are bringing the past history. Past history is how we feel when we feel disharmony. What are the steps we have taken to restore the harmony of the body? So if we are to take the full responsibility of the body, that is, you had a feeling of self-regulation. What kind of daily schedule would you have? Approximately how much time would you allocate for keeping your body in good health through? That is by healthy intake, food, air, water, sunlight, etc. Timings for upkeep of the body, sleeping and waking up time, excretion, bathing, etc. Then labor, the production of the physical activity, exercise, balancing internal and external organs of the body, regulating breathing of the body, medicine, treatment. Of course, you need to keep adequate time for studying, understanding, learning, behavior, etc. Do you think that this schedule will make you a productive or less productive? What conclusion do you draw from this exercise? So you have to take a paper and write what are the dates you feel. A date means the time and the date on the day where we are feeling illness, where we are not happy, are we in disharmony because of the type of accident or viral infection or bacterial infection, anything, whatever we have, and we have taken the steps. Suppose I was affected by corona for the last 3 years back, I was affected by corona due to viral infection. And what are the steps we have taken? What is the root cause of this? All these disorders we can write. And this is one practice session we can take, and we will see what is happening in our reason for the the reason for the unhappiness. Then calculate the quantity required for the second. This is a second lecture that shows calculate the quantity required for a specific physical facility, say clothes, in order our family. Now we found out the quantity that is available. Is the quantity available is less. Suppose you open a bureau, generally ladies we will have a lot of sarees. So if we count how many number of sarees we are using, and are we the quantity is less or more than the required, in that sense do you feel prosperous or deprived, at least regarding the particular physical facility, that is in terms of saree alone we can say. Like that we can take any example and we can search. Do the same for the other needs. For that you can make an inventory of everything in your home, or at least your room, how much your physical facility is being rightly placed. Discuss with your family and work with the conclusion, making meaning of the prosperity. So the prosperity is having more than the required. The role of understanding human being, the role of physical facility and the feeling of self-regulation, ability of our family to identify its needs within the required quantity. So these are all that is required to find out whether we are prosperous or not. So the meaning of the prosperity, we are family. So the expected output from the student, what are actually the output we require from the students? The students are able to list down the activities related to the proper upkeep of the body and the practice and make them in the daily routine. They are also able to appreciate the plants growing in and around the campus, which they are beneficial in the meaning, their health and even curing among the alignment. So we are taking care of the plant. So what we are doing is we are getting a good relationship not only with the human beings but also with the plants. Whatever in the environment, we should feel happy. We have to make a continuous happiness. The students begin to recognize that the need of the physical facility for nurturing, production, and right utilization of their body is limited in quantity. In case when they are able to see that they have more than the enough required facility, they develop a feeling of prosperity. So in case of lack of physical facility, they start thinking about how to produce more than the required physical facility by the way of mutually enriching the cycling process. So through exploitation rather than through exploitation. That means if you are having more than the required amount, you can help the others, you can make others also prosperous. So all these things are exercise to observing, seeing the body and the interaction between the self and the body by the self. So this is not just one way of looking with it. The steps mentioned in the exercise are not possible steps. Note down the steps. Observing the self, I am on the basis of observing my activity. The self is reality. The body is on the basis of observing and reading sensation from the body. The body is a reality. The self and the body are two distinct realities. I am able to observe this. Observing the interaction between the self and the body. What is the interaction between me and the body? I give instruction to the body. Body gives the information. Instruction is an information. So I give only those instructions to the body that I consider to be very important. As when I want to take some work from the body, I give it much instruction like get up, walk, sit down. Instruction is an information. On the basis of the events taking place in the body, sensations are taking place. I read those sensations that I consider to be important. I taste the sensation that I also read. Sensation is also an information. The interaction between the self and the body is only in the form of information, not by any physiochemical changes. Observing the decision maker, who is the decision to give the instruction to the body or to read specific sensation from the body? Is it self or the body? I am the one who decides to give instruction to the body. I am the one who decides to read the specific sensation from the body, sensations which I consider are important. The decisions regarding the exchange of the information between me and the body are entirely mine. I interact with the body as when I require. I interact with the body from time to time. The body acts according to the instruction that I give it. I use the body as my decision. I use the body as an instrument. So observing ourselves. So this is actually related to the self and the body, the regulating the body and the self. So self and the body should be coexistent. So what are the questions that we may have now is self-regulation same as self-control or self-restraint? What will be the role of a doctor if everyone has a feeling of self-regulation? If the body is unhealthy, will the self be still happy? If we are following a proper self-regulation, the role of the doctor will be reduced. That's all. The human being is a coexistence of the self, a continuous entity, a body, and a material entity. The self and the body can be distinguished on the basis of their needs, activities, and the responses. The self is a seer, doer, and an enjoyer. So the three things they are seer, doer, and enjoyer. The body is an instrument. In that sense, the self is essential of the human existence. The self consists of the activities of imaging, comparing, analyzing, tasting, selecting, together referred to as imagination as we do. Behavior in the work are expressions of imagination. There are three possible sources of motivation for imagination: precondition, sensation, and the natural acceptance. Self is self-organized when the imagination is guided by right understanding. If you are having a right understanding, then self is self-organized. Self is enslaved if you are forcing, if you are having a forced acceptance, or when the imagination is motivated by preconditions or sensation. The self of the self-regulation, the feeling of the self-regulation in the self is essential to ensure health in the body and for having the clarity about the need for the physical facility and the prosperity. There is a definite human program. There is a definite program for self-regulation. For clarity about the self and body, the two exercises are proposed: observing the self by self and observing the impact of the self by